On board the Suzuki, that's Stefan Roncada. Good to see him up and riding. I'm sure Roger McCoster is very happy with the performance that Roncada is turning in.
Another rider that, like Lusk, you're just never sure who's going to show up. If it's going to be the Stefan with his A game or the Stefan that's just there having a good time. Both these guys, though, are capable of going so fast and running up front for a little while. I don't think they quite have what Wyndham's got or what Ricky has when they really turn it up, but capable of finishing on the podium, no doubt. Now they got pressure from Larocco, who always seems to work his way forward. Once you got him catching you, you know he's not going to leave you alone.
6, 7, and 8. It's Lusk, Roncada, and Larocco. Larocco having a slight bobble there as they come back up the hill, gets stuck in a rut. Roncada gaps him just a little bit and airs it out, but here comes Iron Mike. Meanwhile, back to the front, this is your leader, Moto number 1, 250 class, Kevin Wyndham. Remember, he got the whole shot. Carmichael took the lead, and then Wyndham took it back before Carmichael fell. Carmichael fell back to 4th and has worked his way back up to 2nd. But Kevin Wyndham has rode a great race, David. He has shown a lot of maturity. He doesn't panic. He just rides his race, and so far it has been fantastic. Meanwhile, Ezra Lusk really getting on the gas.
Yeah, it's like I said, he's very aggressive. Probably realizes that Larocco's coming up, and if he can check out and have, hopefully, Roncada hold Larocco up a little bit, then he won't have to deal with him for as long, if at all.
No one wants to deal with Iron Mike because he is so tenacious, gets after it. Right now he's having a problem just picking the right line, and Roncada is feeling the pressure of number 5. The native of Indiana on board his Honda is really making Roncada work for every turn.
Yeah, he just forced his way in. Stefan knew he was coming. If Stefan had tripled over that big jump back there, they probably could have prevented that.
So Larocco moves ahead of Stefan Roncada. Now he'll go to work on Ezra Lusk. Look at it one more time.
Larocco just down to the inside, identical to the pass that Carmichael put on Wyndham for the lead on the opening lap. Down the inside of that straightaway is a big advantage. Now Larocco's got clean sailing up to Ezra Lusk. He was trying to get rid of him, but I don't think it's going to work.
There's your running order from Binghamton. Wyndham your leader, Carmichael in 2nd. Back in just a moment. If someone ever makes a motocross dictionary under the word style and technique, you'll probably find photos of David Bailey as the examples. His fluid riding style was a result of the perfect mixture of natural talent and countless hours of instruction from his father, Gary Bailey, the self-proclaimed professor of motocross. David started out riding a Bull Taco, switched over to a Kawasaki as a privateer, then worked his way onto Team Honda. In a career tragically cut short by injury, David earned 30 major wins in AMA motocross and supercross, on his way to 4 championship titles. He also helped lead Team USA to 5 dominant wins in the annual Motocross the Nations in Europe. David Bailey's biggest victory, and certainly the hardest to earn, came after his accident. Confined to a wheelchair, Bailey won the Ironman Triathlon in Hawaii, flat tire and all. During his motocross career, David was the consummate professional, a good role model and a student of the sport. Those traits led to a second career as an ESPN color analyst for AMA motocross and supercross. When he's not on the road covering the races or teaching one of his motocross schools, David Bailey lives with his wife Gina and their 2 children, Sean and Jennifer, in French Valley, California. Welcome back to Binghamton, New York. Now, David, I knew you always had the style and the grace, but winning the Ironman, that's impressive. As we look at your file, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with motocross that much, but I'd like to see it in that box, actually, because it was harder than any of these titles physically. Nothing ever compared to that.
We are on the final lap. Moto number 1, your leader, number 14, Kevin Wyndham in 2nd place. Just coming through is Ricky Carmichael. So Carmichael has 1 lap to try to reel in Kevin Wyndham. Now, Wyndham is not without proclivity to falling himself, so Ricky needs to get up there and put some pressure on him.
Well, it's too late. And look, Wyndham's taking a look over to the right. You can see Ricky coming up the hill. He knows he's got enough cushion now that even if he stalled it, he could take his time, go through the checklist on getting that bike fired up. But Kevin, beautiful job to come back in and win. I was hoping that he wasn't going to get his spirit crushed so much in Millville with those losses that sort of ruined the rest of his series, But he's come right back and said, all right, that was just one weekend, and he's back. He ran out of gas completely at Millville. So did Billaman, for that matter, who sits back in 3rd. So it's good to see both these guys recover and not let Ricky just close this thing out with ease.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, it is very comfortable here in Binghamton. Temperatures in the mid-70s, no humidity to speak of, really. And it's quite a contrast in what we dealt with last week in Millville. The temperature was in the 90s, humidity close to 90%. Meanwhile, Kevin Windham on the white flag lap coming through, having to deal with some lapped riders, but Windham working his way through carefully. You know, as Ricky Carmichael is still back there trying to push it. If you're Ricky Carmichael right now, David, is he already thinking about Moto number 2 and making sure that he picks up the victory there? Yeah,
at this point he is. I mean, he doesn't give up as easy as some of the other riders that might give up a little sooner. But you still want to catch Windham if you can and let him know that, man, if he didn't fall, he might have beat me because he was a lot. He's going to go back and look at the lap times. These guys will all look. And, you know, Ricky needs to send Kevin something to worry about.
Well, Kevin Windham just now putting on a show for the folks here, Broome Tioga Sports Complex, Binghamton, New York. This is round number 10. Remember, he has 2 overall victories already. Ricky Carmichael, meanwhile, sits in second place, 8 seconds behind the leader. Now, he did fall, but it was after Kevin Windham had already put the pass on him. Ricky Carmichael did a great job of going from 4th back up to 2nd, so he will salvage quite a few points. And for Carmichael, it really comes down to the second moto. Kevin Windham, though, will celebrate in Moto number 1 and a victory here at the Broome Tioga Sports Complex.
I think Kevin's very comfortable here at Broome Tioga. He's comfortable on this soil. Millville was a different deal. That's like the Daytona, you know, for Ricky Carmichael and for the outdoors. But here, he's got a real challenge on his hands with Kevin Windham. He can still pick up the overall, but he won't pick up any more points.
So Ricky Carmichael has to settle for second. Windham gets the victory. Back to Binghamton in just a moment. Welcome back to Binghamton, New York. It is a happy day thus far for Kevin Windham, David, as he picks up the victory in Moto number 1. Didn't panic, waited for their opportunity, and made the pass on Carmichael.
Hey, you know, everything's running right for him. I don't think Ricky's bothered by the loss, but I think he's bothered by the fact that Kevin passed him in the first place, and he needs to find some more speed for Moto 2.
Carmichael has to settle for second place, and I reiterate settle because he hates to lose. Right now, let's send it down to Cameron Steele, who's with our winner.
Well, Kevin, awesome race. I want to ask you about the changes to the track. Do you like them?
Well, it's a little bit less technical, but it's a fun section. A lot of airtime up there, and you know, I won, so I guess I'm having a lot of fun out there.
You really like it that way. I want to ask you, at the beginning of the race, it looked like Ricky really wanted to get by you right away in the more supercross section. Were you surprised how aggressive he was there? And is that what happened when he crashed?
You know, I didn't really see when he crashed. I was actually, we were side by side. The 4-stroke's working great up the hills, the Michelin tires and factory connection. You know, all my sponsors really working well out there today. And I was actually beside him. He was on the inside of me, and he went down. I don't know what happened to him, but I know that he didn't want to get roosted by this big 450, and he was in a hurry to get up front. But once he was there, you know, I was like, hey, it's cool. Let's stick together, and we're going to battle it out. You know, I felt comfortable with the battle. I didn't think he was going to pull me, and would have been a good race either way.
I want to ask you about the track. Moto number 2 will be coming up soon. Is the track coming to you, coming to Ricky? Do either one of you guys have more of an advantage as it dries out and gets rougher?
Well, I think a lot of people say that the 4-stroke gets good traction on harder tracks, and I think that it will get harder as the day goes on. But you know, all my sponsors are working so well together, and they give me the best bike, track after track after track after track. And factory connection, Honda, No Fear, Lee Dungaree jeans, Alpine Star boots, Arai helmet, Spy goggles, and factory connection. All those guys have just been working so hard to get me up here. It's paying off. Thanks a lot.
Awesome ride, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron. As we take a look at the Honda official results, it's Kevin Windham winning, followed by Ricky Carmichael, David Willeman, Chad Reed, and Tim Ferry rounding out the top 5. Ernesto Fonseca and Nathan Ramsey go 9 and 10. And Paul Carpenter getting in for an 11th place finish. Well done, Paul Carpenter from nearby Ithaca, New York. Right now, let's send it back down to Cameron Steele.
Well, Ricky, I'm not sure that you had the whole shot there. You guys were real close, but you got real aggressive right away in that technical section. Was it your idea to get in front of them where it was more technical so you can maybe have some space on the wide open areas where maybe the 4-stroke was better?
Well, I just try to get out front, you know, and just, I wasn't trying to be too aggressive. I just want to get out front really quick. And, you know, I heard Kevin behind me. He's riding good, man. His bike's so good. And I was giving it heck, man. I was riding as hard as I could, and I fell down. And I need to figure something out for the second moto. You know, it's kind of cool today, so nobody's really going to get tired. So it's going to be a tough race. You know, everyone's going to be riding really, really hard, and see what we can do.
Well, the Cobra on the podium, last time we saw you, you were taking a power nap in the mechanics area. It looks like maybe that strategy worked for you. What was the difference this week, and what happened last week?
I know, I was sick last week, and you know, I passed out Tioga Moto. It was a tough track, a lot of heat, humidity, and you know, I did some blood tests and everything is fine. And you know, I came here rested and tried to focus on the track. And you know, my Yamaha is working really good today, and got me a good start. And I'm really happy to be on the podium.
Congratulations on a third place finish. Well done.
All right, thanks. I want to thank Yamaha, Fly Racing, and Oakley, Shark City Boots, and my wife and my kid at home and watching for me.
Well, we'll remind you and Team Villeman, Erica and Charlotte at home, that upcoming races include September 6th and 7th, Troy, Ohio, the final race of the 2003 outdoor season. And what a great season it has been as Yogi and his brain trust over at Kawasaki get together and try to figure out what they can do in Moto number 2. Right now it's time for the Racer X Pit Pass.